Hey, it's Maddie from MagicBrief, and in this video I'm going to show you how to uncover high-impact ad iteration opportunities with MagicBrief so you don't always have to recreate your ads from scratch. In the world of creative strategy, there are two buckets of ad creation: net new ads and iterations. Net new ads are your big ideas, your big creative swings that you are testing for the first time, whereas iterations are the tweaks and changes you are making to existing ads based on data to try and get incremental performance gains without reinventing the wheel every single time. This is a weird analogy, but think of net new ads like you're building and creating a new outfit from scratch. You're buying a new top, new jeans, a new jacket. Whereas iterations are how you're tweaking that outfit to give it a little bit more oomph in the places that it needs. For example, you're swapping out that jacket for a coat that actually fits you better and hugs in all the right places, or you're adding accessories that make the overall outfit feel more elevated. It's these minor changes that can deliver outsized results. To run this iteration analysis, I'm going to use an overview report, and I like switching over into this cards view because it keeps the visual of the ad creative front and center. The first metric I'm going to add is spend, because you don't want to be making these decisions off of ads that haven't actually been proven by the algorithm or have spent enough. I'm also going to add in your North Star metric. So depending on what business you are, this might be ROAS if you're in e-com, which is what I'll add for this example, but it could also be like leads or app installs, whatever the main metric is that you're going for, and click update. And these metrics will appear in this cards view down here. I'm also going to add in our MagicBrief Wizard Scores. So I just type in the word wizard and we have a hook, hold, click, and buy score. And I'm going to hit update. These wizard scores serve as like a traffic light system that uncovers iteration opportunities inside of your account, and they're each scored out of 100, and you can have a red, a yellow, or a green score for these. So while your hard metrics, so your spend and your North Star metric like ROAS, are the ones that are actually proving that the ad is driving results, they're proving that it's working, our wizard scores help tell the story of why, and I think these are particularly impactful with video ads. We do have this iteration cheat sheet, which is part of our creative engine guide, which I will link down below, but I will run through each of them now. So our hook score is looking at the first 3 seconds of a video ad and evaluating how effectively we stopped people in the feed. Because if you're not stopping people for the first 3 seconds, they are not watching the rest of the ad to get the message that you're actually trying to drive. The hold score is then looking at how many people made it past the first 3 seconds and watched the rest of the video. So how engaging was the general body of the video and the message that you're sharing. Our click score is evaluating how effectively you drove that person off the ad and onto a website, whether that was to a landing page or a product detail page. And our buy score is ultimately evaluating, did they then make a purchase off the back of that ad? So if we look at this first ad here, it's spent the most, it's got a decent ROAS, and most of it is green, but this click score is quite low. So the main things that I'm looking at here is what was the call to action or the CTA on this ad, and how effective was that CTA at driving an action to click off the site. So some changes that we could make with this ad is to make that call to action feel more urgent so that you are encouraging the person that's viewing the ad to click off that site rather than scroll past and watch the next piece of content in their feed. And if we move over here to this ad, we can see, oh, the click score was actually quite good, but it is struggling in terms of the hook score and also the buy score. So I'm looking at these ads side by side and my brain is starting to go, what is an element that we could pull from this ad with a higher hook score that we could apply over here to this ad where the hook score was not as high? And then what could we learn from this ad here where it was effectively driving people off to the landing page that we could then translate onto this ad over here? And when I first started learning how to do this, my brain would instantly go, well, I can't just paste a hook onto the body of another video where it doesn't make sense. But iterating on something like a hook doesn't always have to be just copy and pasting the video directly. It's more about analyzing that piece of creative and trying to pull out different hypotheses for why we think that hook is working. So within MagicBrief, if we go back to this first ad, you can click into this ad preview And what I would do for all of the ads with a high hook is I would actually watch the first 3 seconds. This is a demo ad, so it's not very engaging. And I would stop it there and ask myself, what about the first 3 seconds was engaging? Was it the person? Was it the headline that we popped up? Was it what they were saying? Was it the visual that we had or an interesting transition? There's all of these different things which you could pull from and then test on an ad with a lower hook to see if that improves your hook result. Now that we've done a little bit of a 101 on how these wizard scores work, I'm going to go deeper into some of the pre-built reports that we have in MagicBrief, which reveal these iteration opportunities really quickly because we've pre-built them for you. I'm going to start with this iterate on hook report on the side here. And you can see that we've applied some filters, so ads that are active, that are video ads, and we've filtered for a hook score that is below 70, but a buy score that is over 70. And what that's doing is it's looking at video ads where the conversion power is there, in the sense that when people are actually making it to the landing page, they are taking the action, they're buying something, but we're losing them in the first 3 seconds, and that's a space for improvement. And in terms of how you can improve that hook, I would actually jump over into this top hooks report on the side here. And this report is filtered for all of the ads in the account where the hook score is over 70. And I would actually go through and watch a few of these ads and think about what is really effective about the first 3 seconds of these videos that we could potentially pick up and transplant onto those videos where the hook wasn't so good. The next report that I'll dive into is our Iterate on CTA report. And this report is filtered for where the hold score is over 70, but the click score is less than 70. And what we're looking for here is all of these ads are effectively capturing viewer attention and the people are actually watching the ad, but they're not clicking off the ad onto our site. So we need to come up with ways to add a little bit more urgency or tweak the messaging slightly to give them a compelling reason to actually click through. And again, you can do this by finding examples of ads in your account that do have high click scores and trying to pull some attributes from those ads onto these ones where the click scores aren't as high. Also just really good to watch these ads all the way through and understand, if I was someone who was watching this for the first time, like, would I click? And if I wouldn't, why not? And the last report I'll dive into is this check landing page report. And this is filtered for the ads where the buy score is less than 70, so people aren't converting, but the click score is over 70. So this is an example of ads where the ad itself has done really well in terms of driving a click off site, but then something's happened when they've hit that landing page that hasn't actually resulted in a purchase. And it's important to note here that you can't rely on an ad to do everything. The rest of your funnel still comes into play. Like, what is that add to cart sequence like, and your abandoned cart sequence? All of these things come into play. But particularly from an ads perspective, the main thing that I'm looking at is to understand if there is alignment between what was said in the ad and the landing page that person has landed on. I'm sure you'll all know examples where sometimes you have seen like a dress, for example, on an ad, and you've clicked off that ad and then it's really hard to find that dress that you saw. And something like that can literally be the reason why an ad doesn't look like it performs as well as it does, because it was actually something wrong with the landing page. So checking in on this report and looking at ads where people are clicking, so the creative was really strong, but they weren't actually buying because of the experience that they had after that ad, can be really useful to understand if you need to maybe send them to a different landing page, or you need to tweak the messaging of the ad to better reflect the landing page that you are sending them to. I know I've just gone into a whole amount of detail with different metrics and reports, but if that is feeling too overwhelming for you and you just want a really easy place to start, go into your Insights dashboard, and we actually have these recommendations here for some ads in your account which are spending really well and they're converting, but we can see that there are areas for iteration or improvement. So rather than having to dive into all of these different reports and analyze the wizard scores yourself, just start here. Especially if you're new to creative analysis, have a look at these ads that we're pulling up for you, and you can toggle through them as well and give these iterations a crack. Again, I have our guide to building a creative engine linked in the comments, and we go through a lot more of this iteration process in detail, but I hope you enjoyed the video and good luck.